Hey guys, welcome to my part 2 of the most unique battle systems in JRPGs. Last time we all had a blast with that video, and now I hope today we can all have another blast with this new video in which I'm including 10 more games with really cool, original and unique battle systems. So let's begin! Number 10, the Shadow Heart series. Yeah, the entire trilogy. I didn't include the Shadow Heart series in the first video because I was convinced that the battle system was just not that unique, even though I'm a huge fan of the trilogy. Later, I played them again for a while and completely reconsidered. These guys deserve to be on my video simply because the Judgment Ring was an amazing idea. What's the Judgment Ring, you ask? Well, it's that circle you're seeing right now where you have to click on the right spots at the right time to make your attacks work. They're used for everything in this game, attacking, healing, skills, combos, except the fan. If you click on the minuscule red lines, your attacks will cause more damage. Well, nothing happens if you don't, so don't worry. The enemy has these circles as well, but you can't see them. All you see is their attacks or actions, which sometimes fail depending on your character's evasive skills. To create combos, you're giving 3 different kinds of attacks, which are hard hit, hit angle, or knockdown. They all do exactly what they say, so it's pretty self-explanatory. If done right, you can have 2 or more characters enter in a combo mode. Overall, this system, which is exactly the same in the 3 games almost, is very original and unique, but beyond the Judgment Ring, it's just another turn-based system, so that's why it stays on number 10. Number 9, Eternal Sonata. Tri-Ace is a company that has created some of the most unique battle systems ever. We saw this in the previous video with Valkyrie Profile 2 and Resonance of Fate. In here, they nail it again. It's a system that combines action and turn-based. You move your characters freely within a certain amount of time, which is shown on the left side of the screen in a bar, time that is also used to perform your attacks in a button mashing. Your enemies use their own bar as well, in which you can defend by clicking on the right buttons at the right time. And they can also move freely within this timer. Then, if the timing is right, you can execute a special attack that causes massive damage. You can do this at any time if you want to, but the point is to do it right at the end of your combo, but before the time bar runs out. Unfortunately, if you use a healing item, that's about all you can do in your character's turn, but it helps in balancing the strategy. On a final note, the attacks are divided into light and dark attacks, specifically your special attacks, so if you're in a shadow or in the enemy's shadow, it will change into a different one. So in conclusion, this is an amazing and unique battle system, very addictive, which makes the experience of the game to be extremely good. Number 8. Chrono Cross. My favorite RPG of all time, believe it or not, has also quite a very unique battle system. It's a turn-based game in which your characters fight in front of other enemies, classic, but involving a random number generator system based on percentages. Your first attack always has more chances of hit, but it causes less damage. Your third attack has less chances of hit, but it causes more damage, and so on. Turns can often be interrupted by you or the enemies, as you saw, but when you do it, it can help greatly in your strategy because you can use one of your attacks or your last one to use an element. Now, elements here are the key of the battle system. Everybody can equip all types of elemental spells, but each character has their own element. If they use their own, it will obviously cause more damage, but if attacked with the opposite element, the damage against them will be greater. This applies for both your characters and your enemies. If you keep using elements, you can change the battlefield color, which is actually shown on the top left side of the screen. So let's say it becomes yellow, then all our attacks will cause more massive damage. There is no use of items in the game, so you will have to depend on elements for pretty much everything, except defending. So overall, I thought Chrono Cross had quite an original battle system, which is awesome, and decided to include it on my list. Number 7, Uncharted Waters 2: New Horizons. This is one of the most unknown JRPGs for the Super Nintendo, and although its prequel didn't have much of a battle system to offer, this one had quite a unique one as a matter of fact. It's a strategy one, where you move in squares and select your destination and the enemy you want to attack. So far, nothing special. You can go straight to the boss if you can, of course. Then, it turns into this weird 2D battle screen where you use cards to attack or defend depending on the phase. If it's the defend phase, you will have to choose between defend, parry, dodge, etc. When it turns into the attack phase, you will have to choose between the various cards shown below the characters. Now the point of the battle is to push that little red bar at the middle of the screen all the way towards your opponent by choosing the cards wisely. This can take a while, especially in boss battles, but depending on several factors like your equipment for example, you will be most likely victorious or defeated miserably. Choosing your cards wisely, may I repeat, is almost the key to your strategy because you depend on your decisions if you want to push that red bar as far as possible. I think the game has a pretty cool and interesting battle system, it's a hidden gem in my opinion, and a great game for the Super Nintendo. Number 6. Rondo of Swords. Another strategy RPG that involves the use of your brain highly more than usual. Yes, I've said it many times before, this game is brutal. Its battle system, however, is very easy to understand. That doesn't mean it's also easy to manipulate in your favor. You move your characters like in any other tactical RPG, but then you get to select where they are going to move through. That's the key element in this game. You choose a destination with them, moving all squares and through all characters each one of your allies can handle. To execute your battle strategies, of course, if you go through an enemy, hopefully they will cause some damage. If you go through your allies, they will boost them with some positive status effects. But sometimes your attacks will miss or will be blocked, meaning the end of your line, frustrating your entire maneuvering. Who and how you go through is the key to winning, but fully understanding and applying this system is what compels you the most to pay attention, because one single mistake can turn the whole battle against you. There's more to it, of course, but it will take me an entire video to fully explain it. It's really intricate, believe it or not, and over time it can turn into an addiction. Great game, hard and very unique battle system. Number 5 goes to Wild Arms 5. I shall be talking about Wild Arms 4 as well, but I found the battle system in the 5th game to be more unique and original. You see, here battles take 3 of your characters on all these hexagons. You also see the colors, right? That's because some of them have elemental properties within them, meaning the obvious. So it's a turn-based RPG with heavy strategy involved. You can move 1 hex per turn and execute your normal attack with your arm. Like in any other Wild Arms game, you have a limited amount of ammo and you will need to use 1 turn to recharge it when it's over. But you can also use magic, that's where the elemental hexes come in handy, and also combos. However, 2 of your characters need to be in the same hex to execute them. In order for you to be able to use them, you need to feel those red and blue bars at the bottom right of the screen, which is called the force level. In my opinion, these combos are most of the time the key to winning since they cause massive damage to your enemies. The same can be said with magic depending on the obvious factors, whereas normal attacks cause minimum damage most of the time. So overall, the use of these combos and these X's and moving through them, taking advantage of the layouts, is the key to winning a battle. On a final note, I found this game to be the hardest of all Wild Arms. So yeah, be prepared for a good challenge that will involve your tactical knowledge. Next is Heroes Saga Leviathan Tactics for the Nintendo DS. Another strategy RPG takes the 4th place here, this time one with a very unique battle system. At first glance it looks like your average isometric tactical RPG, but when it's time to attack, it goes into a completely different screen. Well, I couldn't find a way to properly emulate this game and I don't have a copy of it, so I'm left to show you the gameplay like this. Sorry about that. Again, it's one character's platoon against another. You can first choose the type of formation they will be in while you attack or defend. Each option means something different. Charge and phalanx means more massive damage, but also means you have to change your platoon's formation. Defend means the obvious. Now, phalanx leads you to another option in which you can choose between attacking the enemy's leader or the enemy soldiers. When the attack is executed, you can see the enemy soldiers being attacked. Some of them will evade while others will perish. The enemy then will attack in the same agenda. Now, these battles will not always end with when one side wins. Sometimes they will take another turn for this to happen. This battle engagement is quite fun, as you can see, so I would say it's a pretty solid game with a really interesting, unique battle system. Give it a try if you can. Number 3 goes to Night in the Nightmare for the DS, and it also came out for the PSP. Very little insight I can give you on this one, guys. I tried my best to understanding and enjoying its extremely weird and unique battle system, but it's all a damn mess. The best I can do is this. It's a strategy RPG where you position your characters and use a stylus or the analog stick if you're playing the PSP version to point the attack directions, meaning the game also works as sort of like a shooter, for so to speak. Several, and I mean several factors are also involved within the whole layout that I already said it's a huge mess. Like the waiting time, for example, because you need to wait for the enemy to pass by and clicking the buttons at the right time to make your actions work efficiently. Sorry if I'm being mediocre with this explanation, but that's the best I can do. I didn't like this game, so I strongly recommend you try it out and see for yourself. Yggdra Union for the Game Boy Advance, also ported to the PSP, goes to number 2. Now this, a game that was also made by Sting Entertainment, like the previous one, is an entirely different story. It is Sting's masterpiece in my opinion, and a great game with a very unique battle system that works like this. As you can see, it's yet another tactical RPG, but here you command your characters, each one with their own platoon. And it's also another game that involves the use of cards. You can only bring with you a certain amount of these cards, all with their different statuses. Some of them will let you move more times, while some others will have more attack power. Choosing wisely these cards, as you're probably expecting, is crucial to winning. You cannot directly manipulate your characters during battles. All you can do is maneuver the bar up there to be passive, meaning defensive stances, or aggressive, meaning attacking stances. Once it's filled up, more so through the passive command, some of your characters will be able to execute a special attack and cause massive damage. That doesn't mean you'll always win the battle though, so be careful. Now, the big numbers over there, beside the names of the teams, they decrease over time according to the damage received. Once they're up, the battle is over. Well, as you saw, everyone's got a morale bar, which can be translated to a health points bar. Not all battles will deplete these morale bars, but once they're gone, yep, you guessed it, that character either dies or retreats. Yeah. Well, I could go on, mentioning also that the movement is shared between all of your characters and not just one, but I will be doing this for hours. So let's just say it's a very, very unique, complex, and excellent battle system. Number 1 goes to Magna Carta Tears of Blood. This game is slightly similar to Shadow Hearts. It doesn't have a judgment ring, but it does have a circle where you need to click the buttons at the correct time to make your attacks work. But in Magna Carta, this system's more punishing. If you fail even one, the entire attack fails and your character does nothing. Just like in Eternal Sonata, your characters can move freely until they go into the enemy's attack range or the other way around or whatever. There's not exactly a turn order, so if you want to use another character, you need to switch to them. Once in front of the enemy, you can stand by, but obviously the best decision is to use the circle to execute your attacks. For this to work, you need to observe the bars up there on the right side. The red ones belongs to the enemy. And it's like an attack waiting bar where they need to wait for it to fill up in order to do something. The same goes for your characters with the yellow bar, but that one doesn't need to fill up completely, as you can see. It has some small edges, and if it reaches them, you can attack. You can actually use one single character for the entire battle if you want, but that's just a way to make the battles even more harder. Sometimes it's indispensable to use others, either way, especially in boss battles. A good strategy is sometimes to lure the enemies towards your other characters to avoid wasting time and have them attack them. Everyone's got their own attacks, meaning they all have their own commands. You're probably wondering what those letters are up there on the left side of the screen. They are chi, meaning elements. The highlighted letters mean those elements are dominant for the entire battle. And if you're wondering what the 100% bar means at the right side of the screen, yeah, that one over there, well, that's for special attack. Yup. So, great game, great and unique battle system. Okay guys, so that's it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget there's going to be a third part next Friday, so stay tuned, don't miss it out, and keep checking out my channel every now and then. So thanks for watching once again. Don't forget to subscribe and share this video with your friends. See you next time.